Hare Krishna, everybody. Everybody like the Guru Maharaj's Kirtan?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
All right, we'll start with the invocation prayers. Nana Shastra Vicharinako Nipano Saddharma Samstapako Lokanam Hitakarno Tribhuvane Manyo Sharyanya Karno Radha Krishna Padar Vinda Bhajana Anandena Mataliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vindavaneshwari Vishavanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarupascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming. So today I will first answer inquiries submitted by devotees from the previous class, and then we will continue our nectar of devotion discussion from where we left off in the introduction. So I will bring up on screen the inquiries. Question number 1. The cycle of bhoga and tyaga seems deeply ingrained in human behavior. What steps can one take to break free from this cycle and stay consistently engaged in devotional service, considering the busy lifestyle in a country like Canada? So we have discussed in Nectar of Instruction text number 2 the 6 items that spoil bhakti. Therefore, avoid the 6 items. The 6 items to avoid are atyahar, prayas, prajalpa, niyam agraha, janasanga, and laulyam. So janasanga means association with worldly minded people is to be avoided so that our bhakti does not spoil. At our day-to-day work, we should aim to be only functionally present and not take association of worldly minded people. Solution to avoid worldly minded people is to busy ourselves in devotee association, which is also explained in Nectar of Instruction text number 3, the 6 items that are favorable for bhakti. The Nectar of Instruction text 3, 6 items favorable for bhakti are Utsa Nishchay Dhairya, Tattat Karma Pravartana, Sangatyaga Satovrite. So Sangatyaga Satovrite means avoid association of worldly people and follow the inclinations of pure devotees. Lord Kapila, who is Krishna himself, describes the qualities of devotees in Canto 3, Chapter 25. So either Sumnima or Monarch Prabhu can have ready Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25. So Lord Kapila, who is Krishna himself, describes the qualities of devotees in Canto 3, Chapter 25, verses 21 to 23. And in 24-25, Lord Kapila says, to associate with devotees plus hear Krishna Katha in association of devotees to destroy the evil effects of material attachment. Sumnima, are you able to read Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, verses 21 to 23 translation?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji. Verses 21. The symptom of sadhu are that he is tolerant, merciful, friendly to all living entity. He has no enemies, he is peaceful, he abides by the structure, and all his characteristics are sublime. Text 22. Such a sadhu engages in a staunch devotional service to the Lord without deviation. For the sake of the Lord, he renounces all other connections such as family, relationship, friendly acquaintances within the world. Text 23. Engaged constantly in chanting and hearing about me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The sadhus do not suffer from material miseries because they are always filled with my thoughts of my pastime and activities.
Right, so in first these verses, Lord Kapila first describes the various transcendental qualities of a sadhu, of a pure devotee. And then in 24-25, Lord Kapila says, associate with such devotees. Sumnima, 24-25.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I read?
Yeah, Monar Prabhu, go ahead, 24-25.
Yeah. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.25.24 translation. O my mother, O virtuous lady, these are the qualities of great devotees, free from all attachment. You must seek attachment to such holy men, for this counteracts the pernicious effects of material attachment. Text 25 translation. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin.
So, Lord Kapila says, seek attachment of pure devotees to avoid the miseries of material world attachment. Everybody on the same page? Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Question number 2. How should one get rid of ego of any kind? So first understand that even after we purify ourselves and go back to Godhead, we will still have ego. It is just that our ego will be true ego or pure ego. So right now in the material world, we all have false ego. And how do you understand this false ego and true ego? So in a statement that is focused on I, that in a statement I is followed by something material, such as I am Indian, I am male, I am female, etc. This is false ego. And in a statement, the I is followed by that which is focused on Krishna, such as I am eternal servant of Krishna. This is true ego. So in terms of getting out of false ego, the solution is to come to the level of soul even while in this material world, even while in this body. Living at the level of soul means doing devotional service 24 hours. Bhagavad Gita chapter 5 verse 20 onwards, Krishna gives a process, or Krishna gives a list of characteristics that a siddha or a pure devotee has, and these characteristics are what we as sadhakas have to develop. All right. Meghna Saman, Bhagavad Gita chapter 5 verses 20 to 26. Translations. So these are the qualities possessed by a siddha that we have to develop.
Sorry, getting it out. 20 to 26, right?
Correct. Chapter 5, 20 to 26.
A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God, is already situated in transcendence. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, which such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. Before giving up his present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material senses and check the force of desire and anger, he is well situated and is happy in this world. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme, and ultimately he attains the Supreme. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of the living beings, and who are free from all sins, achieve liberation in the Supreme. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future.
So these are the qualities that we have to develop. And then further in Bhagavad Gita chapter 13, verses 8 to 12, then in chapter 12, verses 13 to 20, then in chapter 16, verses 1 to 3, these also list the various qualities that we have to develop. There will be some overlap. These are the qualities that you develop to come at the level of soul, and then you will be out of your false ego. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, Prabhuji.
All right. Question number 3. Suicides are common in higher education institutes in India and many other countries. Meritorious students fear low grades, hence ridicule among peer groups who may lack compassion. So how can we request the students to value Bhagavad Gita, nectar of instruction, nectar of devotion, to encourage bhakti, develop compassionate association, seek compassionate, pious friends, as well as be one, just as Arjuna seeks from Krishna. So suicides happen because of bodily conception and dissatisfaction at bodily level. Therefore, so rich and famous people, they commit suicides. Now understand the result of suicide, and if you happen to explain this to somebody committing suicide, he may not commit a suicide. So what happens in suicide? That example, if someone is destined a lifespan of 85 years and this person commits suicide, say at the age of 65, so for the next 20 years, the person still has karmic reactions left over, before the next body is available to this person. Therefore, this person stays as a ghost for 20 years because he committed suicide before his scheduled body was supposed to end. For this 20 years, the person has karmic desires, but no body to fulfill the karmic desires. Therefore, ghosts try to occupy someone else's body so as to fulfill their own desires. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.11 is a very well-known verse to address the situation in this question that how do you get people to understand and appreciate Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, and Srimad Bhagavatam. So I will bring up on screen 1.5.11 obviously is a very well-known and a key memorization verse. It's a very beautiful verse to recite also. I will recite. Tadvag visargo janata agaha viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abadvati api namani anantasya yasya ankitani yat shravanti gayanti granati sadhava. Samma, are you able to read the translation from the screen?
Yes. On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest.
So these literatures, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, etc., they will bring about a revolution in the impious lives of this material world's misdirected civilization. Therefore, you all become preachers within your immediate friends and family to join Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam classes so that little by little the entire world is saturated with this knowledge, and then these suicides or all that nonsense goes on in the world will either diminish or go away. Now, I have already explained this that a new batch of Srimad Bhagavatam is going to start for you all devotees in mid-July of 2025, just a couple months away. So use the opportunity to get your friends and family or even young children in your family to just sit besides you and listen to the Bhagavatam class, because Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. And perfect example is few weeks back or just couple classes back, we heard Vimal Prabhu's Vaikunta daughters reciting so many verses and points from the scriptures. So Vimal Prabhu's daughter from batch 3 and 4, they don't attend the classes. They are just sitting besides him while Vimal Prabhu is attending the class. But the daughters have memorized verses from Bhagavad Gita and have some important points from Bhagavatam also. And they come up with inquiries offline with me, or sometimes even devotees from the class. They have, like today, Archana's Vaikunta kid Devraj, he had a very important inquiry. So Devraj is very young. He's, I think, in grade 1 or 2, I think, somewhere around there. But he's sitting in the Bhagavatam class with the mother and he's listening and he's asking inquiries. So this is the power of Bhagavatam. So you all consider to have the young family members in your family or your friends and family to get them to simply listen to Bhagavatam. Everybody on the same page? Does that answer the inquiry? All right. Question number 4. It is difficult to love God through a list of do's and don'ts. When will I learn more about His loving kindness and compassion, His justice and forgiveness? Not just with examples involving Arjuna from Bhagavad Gita. It is correct that one cannot love anyone with rules and regulations. We have discussed at the start of Nectar of Instruction that these rules are for us to purify ourselves so that we can come to the level of pure devotion. The examples in scriptures are to make us understand the hows and the whys of philosophy. That how do you apply the philosophy in practice? That's why the examples are there. And love means service. So you don't have to wait to become a pure devotee to love Krishna. You can start right now to love Krishna by doing services. Chanting 16 rounds of japa daily is a service. Or when we do services at the Toronto temple, or for those who are away from Toronto area in your respective locations, do services at the local temple. Or make a temple at your home and make your home as a temple and do daily worship of Gopinath at your home temple. Offer bhoga to Gopinath at your home temple. And all these activities are the activities of pure devotees. So if you start right now these activities, these same activities will be at a little lesser degree of devotion. And as you keep getting purified, the same activity will continue. Just the degree of devotion will increase. So you don't have to wait to love Krishna. You can start right now. And soon we will discuss the 64 items of devotional service. The first 5 items of the 64 items are essentially about spiritual master. So take shelter from a spiritual master and serve the spiritual masters, and by serving the spiritual master, you satisfy Krishna. There is no other way. We cannot directly approach Krishna. So this is described in Bhagavad Gita, the verse Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasado. It's there in Bhagavad Gita. Abhishek Prabhu, if you want to go to 2.41 purport, Bhagavad Gita. And towards the end, you have the verse Yasya Prasadat Bhagavad Prasado.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. 2.41.
2.41 purport towards the end. You can also recite the verse and the translation is under it.
Yes. Yasya prasadat bhagavad prasado yasya prasadat nagati kutopi dhyayan stuvam tasya yashastri sandhyam vande guru shri charanarvindam. By the satisfaction of the spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes satisfied. And by not satisfying the spiritual master, there is no chance of being promoted to the plane of Krishna consciousness. I should therefore meditate and pray for his mercy 3 times a day and offer my respectful obeisances unto him, my spiritual master.
Right? So take shelter of a spiritual master. Do service to a spiritual master. Follow his instructions. And you will satisfy the spiritual master and Krishna. That essentially is love. Does that answer the inquiry? All right. Question number 5. Is the impetus of service to pleasure, or are we led to believe it because it is expected out of us? So just as intrinsic characteristics of water is liquid Or just as intrinsic nature of fire is to burn, similarly, the intrinsic nature of soul is to serve. Right now, in my contaminated state, I am serving my body, my senses, my family, my nation, or worst case, my pet dog or cat. When we regain our original Swarupa by purification, service nature continues. At the purified state, we serve Supreme Lord. So Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita 9.33 that having come to this miserable material world, engage in my devotional service. Meghna Gupta 9.33 translation. Subhash Prabhu 9.33 translation.
From the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji?
Correct. Okay, whosoever has Bhagavad Gita 9.33 ready. Ritu,
Yes,
go ahead.
Prabhu.
I can.
Ritu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. How much more this is so of the righteous Brahmans, the devotees, and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary, miserable world, engage in loving service unto me.
Does that answer the inquiry? All right. Question number 8. Is every rasa equally dear to Krishna? Correct. Every rasa is equal. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is further describes that for a two-way relationship, it is possible in the 4 rasas of Madhurya, Vatsalya, Sakya, and Dasya. The 5th rasa, or depending on how you count, the Shant rasa or the passive rasa relationship is one way. Therefore, as you progress on the path of spirituality, the Shant rasa gets dropped off. But otherwise, all rasas are equal. The spiritual world also, there are devotees in Shant rasa, such as they will be like a stone where when Krishna is grazing the cows, he will come and rest on the stone or by that stone. Does that answer the inquiry? All right. Question number 9. Can you please help me in understanding the meaning of the words Daiva and Daiva Netrena mentioned in Nectar of Devotion preface? So Nectar of Devotion preface, paragraph number 7, has these words Daiva and Daiva Netrena. So Daiva means superior authority, and Daiva Netrena means by the supervision of the authority of the Supreme. So we get our next body by Deva and Deva Netrena means, the answer is given in Bhagavad Gita 13.23. Subhash Prabhu can have 13.23 ready to read. That Bhagavad Gita 13.23 says that the Paramatma is witness and sanctioner of our activities. Subhash Prabhu, 13.23 translation.
Yeah, Prabhuji, just a second.
Meghna Gupta, go ahead.
Okay.
Shall I?
Yeah, Meghna, go ahead.
13.33.
But
All right, both of you can read one after the other. Meghna first.
okay, 13.23. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul.
Upadesham, not Upadesh. What's the Sanskrit of 13.23? Anumata, what's the first word I'm looking for in the Sanskrit?
Upadra tanu smanta cha.
Updrashtanumanta.
Yeah, very good. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay. Upadashtanu manta.
Right, so he is the witnessing and sanctioner of everything, and that's how we get the next body. And so, Vastu, you can also lead the translation again. All right. Everybody should have it ready.
Prabhuji, 13.23, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, or if I ever fail to engage in carefully performing prescribed duties,
You are in chapter 3. I'm asking for chapter 13.23.
yes, Prabhuji, chapter 13.23. Oh, yes, sorry. I'm looking from books, so I need to turn the pages, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yet in this body there is another transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul.
All right. Does that answer the inquiry about Deva and Devanitrina? All right. Question number 10. Preface says, we work to get mellow even in Krishna consciousness. But Bhagavad Gita says we have to work without attachment. So is this not that also the thing we are doing because of gaining something like peace or mellow? I mean, here also we are expecting something like mellow or to increase the taste. So my essence of question is sometimes it might relate to sense gratification also. How do we know, and is it actually right? So right now you continue your desire to gain something from your spiritual endeavor because your desire is to gain something spiritual. As you get purified more and more, your any desire, including the desire to gain anything spiritual, will drop off, and your only intent will be to serve Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29.13 is the direct answer where Lord Kapila says, Lord Kapila is Krishna himself, Lord Kapila says that my devotees do not accept any of the 5 kinds of liberation, even when Lord is offering these liberations, if there is no service. So I will bring up on screen 3.29.13. Obviously, this is also a key memorization verse. I will recite. Salokya sarishti samipya sarupyena ekatvena api uta diyamananam nagrahanti vinamat sevanam jana. Kamna, can you please read the translation from screen?
Yes, Prabhuji. Translation: A pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation, salokya, sarsti, samipya, sarupya, or ekatva, even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport.
That's it. Does that answer the inquiry? All right. Question number 11. Who are parts and parcels of Krishna? Who are Manjaris? So all living beings, all living entities in any of the 8.4 million life forms are parts and parcels of Krishna. I request all of you to grab your Bhagavad Gita and go to towards the end where you have your Sanskrit index. Everybody on the Sanskrit index of Bhagavad Gita?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So look up on the Sanskrit index, Mama Eva Amsha Jiva Loke. What verse do you find? I have shown you how to use the Sanskrit index. Sanskrit index at the back. Page number will be different for all of you. Mama Eva Amsha Jiva Loke.
It's 15.7.
Okay, very good. Rest of you, anybody did not find? Anybody did not find? Okay.
I didn't
So,
find, I'm looking at the Sanskrit index, and that's page 750.
so
Am I looking
every book has different. Do you have hardbound or soft?
hardbound?
Okay, let me grab the hardbound. Hold on.
Is it 6.5?
Look again. So Sanskrit index, Meghna, you are on a wrong page. You have to go to M, Mama Evamshu. So you should be on 740
Mm-hmm.
and you have to just find Mama Evamshu Jiva Loke. It's a pretty small print and a pretty long block of verses. You just have to find in there. Are you able to find?
Mm-hmm. I see on that right-hand column, I see 3 Mama Evasi Satyam Te, Mama Evasi Yukta Evam, Mama Eva Ye Pratyayante. Am I doing something wrong here? I think I am.
You are on the right place. And I'm also looking there. Mama Eva. Somehow, and you are, yeah. Actually, Meghna, where you were, just go few lines above. And if you look from the top, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7th from the top on the page where you were.
I see.
So, I mean, Sanskrit is written differently and pronounced differently. So you just have to work your way accordingly. So it's 15.7. Anybody has memorized or would like to recite the Sanskrit and then read the translation? You can recite from the book. Whosoever wants to recite.
I can recite.
Meghna Saman, go ahead.
Okay, sorry if you wanted to go ahead.
Both of you can recite together.
Okay. Mama Aivam Sajiva Loke Jiva Buddha Sanatana Mana Sastha Nindriyani Prakriti Sthani Karsati.
Very good. Translation.
The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind.
Right, Krishna says, all living entities are my eternal fragmental parts. That's what the first part of the question 11 says. Who are parts and parcels of Krishna? All living entities in any of the 8.4 million life forms are Krishna's parts and parcels. Next time you kill somebody or even somebody who kills for eating is bad, but even if you say happen to kill somebody or even an ant, understand that you are killing your siblings. The second part of question 11, who are Manjaris? So categories of gopis are that some are gopis, some are sakhis, some are Manjaris. So these are not levels, these are just categories, so as to satisfy Krishna in a specific way. And our dear Srila Prabhupada is a Manjari in the spiritual world. So those of you from batch 6 and 7, in the next class, we'll have this conversation about Srila Prabhupada being a Manjari in the spiritual world. Does that answer question number 11? All right, everybody is very silent.
Manjari is a female.
Say that again, Madan Prabhu.
Is Manjari is a female?
So all living entities at the soul level are females. There's only one male, which is Krishna. All are females. All right, question number 12. It's mentioned that Ravana, Hiranyakashipu also remembered Krishna, but they did so with a hatred in their heart, yet they, being killed by Supreme Personality of Godhead, went back to Godhead. Why? So there are two distinct points in this inquiry. First, understand that Ravana and Kumbhakarna, then Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, and then Shishupala and his brother are special cases. This is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapters 13 to 19, the Varahadev pastime. These three sets of brothers of Ravana and Kumbhakarna, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, Shishupala and his brother are actually Jai Vijay, the doorkeepers in the spiritual world. Jai Vijay are pure devotees, and Krishna wanted to enjoy the fighting rasa. But there is no one in the spiritual world to fight because everyone is a pure devotee, serving Krishna with love and devotion. So how does Krishna satisfy his fighting rasa? Therefore, Krishna has to come to the material world to fight with demons. And even in the material world, there is no one capable to fight with Krishna. Hence, in this Leela, Jai Vijay got cursed by Lakshmi Devi and the four Kumaras so that they can serve Krishna and satisfy Krishna's fighting desire. Upon the curse, Jai Vijay had the choice to live as devotees in the material world for 7 lives or live as demons for 3 lives. Jai Vijay said to Krishna that we cannot tolerate separation from you, O my Lord. Therefore, they will choose to live as demons for 3 lives. So Krishna actually blessed Jai Vijay that go to material world and satisfy my fighting desire, and you will constantly remember me in anger. So the 3 lives of Jai Vijay is that of Ravana and Kumbhakarna, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, Shishupala and his brother. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapters 17, 18, 19 describes the fierce battle between Krishna and Hiranyaksha. So this Krishna is in the Varahadev past incarnation. So Krishna was enjoying the fight with Hiranyaksha so much that Brahmaji asked Krishna that the auspicious time to kill this demon is almost upon us. So please kill this demon Hiranyaksha immediately. But Krishna went on to fight with Hiranyaksha for 6 more hours because Krishna was enjoying. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes that Hiranyaksha, even though was a demon, actually had a glorious life. Hiranyaksha did not live or did not suffer like demons. So these 3 set of brothers were all killed by the Lord as part of the Leela, and they went back to their original duty of being the gatekeepers in the spiritual world. Now the second part of the question is that when actual demons being killed by the Lord. It is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4 and other places that Lord is absolute. So blessings or killing are identical. Generally, all the killing of demons is done by the Vishnu form of Krishna. Example, most of the demons described in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, or the killing in Kurukshetra war, are killed by the Vishnu form of Krishna. So these demons get purified by the touch of Vishnu, and because they are killed by Vishnu, these demons attain Brahman effulgence, which is of course spiritual world. And demons that are directly killed by Krishna, example Putana, they also get purified, and because they are killed directly by Krishna, such demons attain Goloka Vrindavan because they also get purified by the touch of Krishna. So Putana was directly killed by Krishna, hence even today, Putana is in the motherly role of Krishna as a nurse in the spiritual world, because Putana came in disguise of wanting to feed Krishna. Does that answer the inquiry? All right. Last question for today. Why can we not just offer our obeisances to Krishna directly? When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Srila Prabhupada or others are forms of Lord himself, why do we have to offer our obeisances separately? So Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, but Srila Prabhupada is a separate soul, a Manjari, we just discussed. Now the answer to this question, that no one except Srimati Radharani is capable to serve Krishna. And further, as is described in Nectar of Devotion, we'll populate a chart for this point, that we are supposed to develop the mood of a servant and not the mood of wanting to be a heroine like Srimati Radharani. And the way to approach Krishna is via spiritual master and via disciplic succession. Therefore, our invocation prayers, we first offer prayers to Guru and then to Krishna. Similarly, we first offer obeisances to Guru because we cannot go to Krishna directly. We have to go to Krishna via our Guru. So we offer our obeisances and respects to Guru, then Srila Prabhupada, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then to Sri Radha Krishna. And actually, if you listen to my spiritual master, His Grace Vaisheshika Das Adhikari's invocation prayers, my spiritual master does offer respects to many more acharyas in disciplic succession. The disciplic succession you can find on the last page of Bhagavad Gita introduction. Does that answer the inquiry? All right. Striking points. Many of you did spectacular endeavor, and you have 7 pages of striking points. This is slide number 1. Take a snapshot. Slide 2. We have slide 3. Slide 4. Five. Slide 6. And slide 7. Similarly, there are slides for Prabhupada lecture, the points that you captured, and again, many of you did a lot of good endeavor. There are 8 slides. Slide number 1, slide 2, Slide 3. Slide 4. Five. 6. 7. And slide number 8. Questions, comments, realizations? So I want to highlight a quick point here. So devotees present here virtually. Abhishek Prabhu, Matan Prabhu and Gauri were present in the other batch just little while ago today, where I had this discussion about devotees not endeavoring, and they leave our classes and spirituality altogether. And again, in this batch also, it's only very few of you who did not endeavor. So I request you to endeavor, and I request you to have an offline chat with me again. I mean, those who are not endeavoring have already had a chat with me, so I'm not sure what new I will say, but it's you. But I want Gauri, Abhishek Prabhu and Matan Prabhu to share what we discussed at the previous class.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you shared this uh, pattern which you have seen, that those who don't do their spiritual endeavor, they always, with time, they drop off from the class, and then opportunity is lost.
Yeah, very good. So I don't want any one of you, thank you, Abhishek Prabhu. I don't want any one of you to drop off. So try your best. You don't have to do some hi-fi endeavor. Just try a little. Just as a child tries to learn to walk, he's not running a 100-meter race. He's just trying to get his footing right. That's what you try. And it's only, again, very few of you who did not do the endeavor. And I still want those also to endeavor. Everybody can do that, please. Or those who have not been endeavoring can connect with me offline, or you can message privately. All right. So we'll continue with Nectar of Devotion. So we are on the introduction, and we stopped where the definition of pure devotional service is given. So I will bring up on screen the definition of pure devotional service. This obviously is a key memorization verse in Nectar of Devotion. So we did recite last time. Did any one of you memorize? Any one of you would like to recite? Even if you have to look up and recite.
I'll try, Prabhu.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. Aren't we looking at the introduction component?
It is introduction, and the verse is there on the screen. The Sanskrit verses are not there in the translation that Prabhupada has given us as Nectar of Devotion. Therefore, I have the Sanskrit of the verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is there on the screen.
Correct. Yes, yes. Anyabhilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavratam anukulyena krishnano silana bhaktir uttam.
Very good. Translation, please.
When first class devotional service drops, one must be devoid of.
develops.
Sorry, when first-class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires. Knowledge obtained by monastic philosophy and fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires.
So all 4 lines of this pure devotional service definition are important. Lines number 3 and 4 are called Swarupa Lakshana, meaning primary characteristics. So line 3 and 4 are Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. These are known as Swarupa Lakshana or primary characteristics. And line number 1 and 2 of the definition are called Tathash Lakshana or secondary characteristics. So line number 1 and 2 are Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavratam. These are Tathash Lakshana, secondary characteristics. So let's look at each line and understand what the verse is saying and what we are supposed to do. So it starts with Anya Abhilashita, that other aspirations should be made zero, but desire to love Krishna should continue. Therefore, first it says, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Now, it is not just Abhilasha, that occasional you have severe situation requiring protection from Krishna and you run to Krishna for protection. That is okay. That is devotional service. Examples are Draupadi and Uttara. But the verse does not say Abhilasha, rather it says Abhilashita, that the devotee does not have tendency to seek protection at material level, but simply to love Krishna. The exceptions are understandable, that how Draupadi and Uttara went to Krishna for protection. That is actually glorious, that you are recognizing that only Lord can protect, which is described in 18.66 purport. There is a 6 items of Sharanagati. Sharanagati means surrender. One of those items is that Raksheshyato Vishwato, that I have faith that only Krishna can protect and no one else. And then it says Shunyam, that Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, all other aspirations at the material level are made zero. Second line says Jnana Karmadi Anavratam. So when a soul is covered, the jnana, the karma are directed to other things, example for material enjoyment or even liberation. So jnana is our knowledge faculty and karma is our acting faculty. And the verse says anavratam. Anavratam means to uncover. So it's very important to understand that the first line says shunyam, means Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. We have to make it zero. The second line does not say shunyam. It doesn't say jnana karma shunyam. Rather, it says jnana karmadi anavratam. Anavratam means to uncover. So soul's original jnana becomes covered because of material desires, and the soul's original jnana you can uncover by the practice of bhakti yoga, which is to serve Krishna. So in sadhana bhakti, one does not give up jnana or karma, rather uses the jnana and karma for the sake of serving Krishna. So covering that causes misdirection is given up so that pure jnana and karma are invoked. Therefore, the second line says jnana karmadi anavratam, means to uncover. The second line does not say jnana karmadi shunyam. You don't have to drop all your jnana and all your karma. So you have to uncover the jnana and karma that takes you closer to Krishna, which means you do devotional service. Everybody with me so far?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Then the third line says anukulyena. Anukulyena means favorable to Krishna. So bhakti with the intention to please Krishna. Now, pleasing Krishna and intention could be two different things. For example, demons fighting with Krishna. Now, Krishna is actually pleased, but the demon's intention is not to please Krishna. Therefore, the demons fighting with Krishna, that is not bhakti. Now, Hiranyakashipu that we discussed is a special case. That's not what we are discussing. In general, we are discussing that demon's intention is not to please Krishna. Therefore, it's not bhakti. So, what kind of bhakti we have to do is anukulyena Krishna anushilanam. Means bhakti is a cultivation and is not just emotion. Yes, you have emotion, but it's also cultivation, means is activity. Therefore, it says shilanam. Shilanam means activity, cultivation of service in relationship to Krishna. So bhakti is expression of the Ladini Shakti of Krishna, meaning Srimati Radharani. When Ladini Shakti is bestowed on a devotee, that devotee blossoms into proper devotion. And before that, there will be some level of devotion. Therefore, the line says, Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. That you do that kind of activity that is favorable to Krishna and as Krishna desires, that is Bhakti Uttama, that is pure devotional service. So Bhakti directly for Krishna plus indirectly for Krishna, such as serving his devotees, that is pure devotion. Everybody on the same page? Questions, comments, realizations? Now, another definition of pure devotional service is given by Srila Narad Muni. I will also bring this up on screen. Obviously, this is also a key memorization verse from Nectar of Devotion, which is 1.1.12. So I will first recite, and then you all can unmute and recite one line after me, please. Sarva upadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate. Everybody unmute and recite one line after me, please. Sarva upadi vinirmuktam
Sarvopadi
Vinirmuktam
tatparatvena nirmalam
Tatratvena nirmalam
Lam
rishikena rishikesha sevanam
Rishikena Rishikesha
Rishikesha
Sevanam
Sevanam
bhaktiruchyate.
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 Right, so just as in the Anyabhilashita Shunyam verse, the third line, what you have on screen, the third line, the words Shilanam, I recited together with the Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam. Similarly, in this definition also, in the third line, the word Sevanam I am reciting together with the third line. So it is Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam. Monarch Prabhu, can you please read the translation from the screen?
Hare Krishna translation. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of all the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is freed from all material designations, and one's senses are purified simply by engaging employed in the service of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
So this another definition that Srila Rupa Goswami is giving is just a parallel to the Anyabhilashita Shunyam verse to substantiate what Rupa Goswami is saying in the Anyabhilashita Shunyam verse. So let's understand again line by line. So first it says Sarva Upadi Vinir Muktam, that free from all kinds of material designations or free from all desires except the desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it's similar to Jnana Karmadi Anavratam, that give up all designations. Then it says Tat Paratvena, that by the sole purpose of serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nirmalam, uncontaminated by the effects of speculative philosophical research or fruitive activity. Rishikena, Rishikena means by purified senses, freed from all designations. Then Rishikesha is the master of senses. Sevanam, the service to satisfy the senses of the Lord. So Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam, that by your senses, serve Rishikesh, the master of senses. And this is Bhakti Uchate, that this is devotional service, pure devotional service. So memorize these two verses. Everybody on the same page? Questions, comments, realizations? All right. So we have completed introduction, and now we will discuss chapter 1, characteristics of pure devotional service. So there are 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. I have the Sanskrit verse for this on the screen. Again, you can try to memorize this verse also. They become very easy to memorize. You don't have to get some misery because of these. These are very easy verses to memorize. So I will again recite, and then you can unmute and recite one line after me, please. So the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. Kleshagni Shubhada, Moksha Lagukrut Sudurlubha, Sandra Ananda Visheshatma, Shri Krishna Akarshani Chasa. So you visualize that there are 6 items specific. So Kleshagni, then Shubhada, then the word moksha, which is there in the first line, I'm actually reciting with the next line. So moksha lagukrut is the 3rd item. Then sudurlubha, sandra ananda, visheshatma, Shri Krishna akarshani chasa. So you recite that way. I will again recite the whole verse, and then you can recite one line after me. Kleshagni shubhada, moksha lagukrut sudurlubha, Sandra Ananda Visheshatma, Shri Krishna Akarshani Chasa. Everybody unmute and recite one line after me, please. Kleshagni Shubhada,
Kleshagni Shubhada,
Moksha Lagukrut Sudurlubha,
Moksha
Labha,
Sandra Ananda Visheshatma,
Sandra Ananda Visheshatma,
Shri Krishna Akarshani Chasa.
Shri Krishna Akarshani Chasa.
Very good. Ritu, translation.
Pure devotional service brings immediate relief from all kinds of material distress. It is the beginning of all auspiciousness. It minimizes the value of liberation. It is rarely achieved. It automatically puts one in transcendental pleasure, and it is the only means to attract Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So this is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.17. So I will explain each of these components one after the other. So at sadhana bhakti level, which is devotional service in practice, two qualities manifest. The first two, which is kleshagni shubhada. Kleshagni means relief from material distress, that misery is extinguished and you become free from misery by the practice of devotional service. Second item is shubhada, which means all auspicious. So you obtain auspiciousness by the practice of bhakti. Then at bhava bhakti level, which is devotional service in ecstasy, four qualities are manifested. So the two qualities from sadhana bhakti of kleshagni and shubhada are manifested, as well as the next two qualities of moksha lagukrut sudurlubha. Moksha lagukrut means the devotee derives happiness of liberation. Liberation and the pleasure of liberation are reduced to being insignificant. And the fourth item is sudurlubha, that it is difficult to achieve. This is extremely rare to obtain. And then at prema bhakti level, which is devotional service in pure love of Godhead, all these six items, all these six qualities are manifested. So at prema bhakti includes the first two items of sadhana bhakti of kleshagni shubhada, also includes item number 3 and 4 of moksha lagukrut sudurlubha from bhava bhakti, and then the additional items of Sandra Ananda Visheshatma, Shri Krishna Akarshanicha. These get manifest. So Sandra Ananda Visheshatma means that this is condensed bliss. The bliss of devotion is concentrated, and then Krishna Akarshani, that this attracts Lord Shri Krishna, and Bhakti Yoga is the only way to attract Krishna. Everybody with me so far? I will explain each of these components a little more in detail. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhupada.
Sadhana bhakti and like what is relation in sadhana bhakti and pure devotional service?
So we will be populating a chart, the last chart that we'll populate, you will understand the difference. So for the time being, we have not discussed all the points. And as we progress, you will have all these points coming up. And then we will have chart number 4 on the chart that I gave you. We will compare Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, and Prema Bhakti. Will have 10 points under each of these categories. So is it okay if you hold on? I can answer, but then you will kind of have more follow-up questions for no reason, which we'll cover as we progress.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So first item is Kleshagni, that relief from material distress. So when one is in trouble, we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra to get some relief. This is Kleshagni. But this is a glimpse only at the initial stages of devotional practice. To understand what causes klesha or how miseries originate to begin with. Klesha or misery happens because of past karma. The root cause is avidya, means ignorance. Avidya leads to bijam, means sinful desire, and bijam leads to sinful activities. This leads to suffering. So there's a cycle that avidya leads to bijam, meaning sinful desire, and bijam leads to sinful activities resulting in suffering. The suffering or the result of sinful activities is in two stages. One is aprarabdha. Aprarabdha means unmanifested reaction. That we have not yet experienced this misery. And the second is prarabdha. Prarabdha means manifested, means some misery which we are experiencing right now. In Srimad Bhagavatam 1.8.32 to 35, Kunti Maharani prayers, Kunti Maharani explains why Krishna appears. She gives various reasons. Kunti Maharani says that you, Krishna, appear to free conditioned souls of their suffering by teaching them devotional service, especially the hearing and chanting. And Kunti Maharani says, avidya leads to klesha. So Kunti Maharani summarizes material existence in 3 words. Avidya, kama, karma bhi. That avidya leads to kama, means material desires, and kama leads to karma, and karma leads to karma phala, which is klesha. Klesha is the karma phala. So ignorance is the cause of suffering. To remove klesha, first we have to stop doing bad karma. Hence, we won't get bad results, at least on a go-forward basis. Hence, we have to give up those wrong desires. We have to also give up the ignorance, which is the root cause. So how does bhakti remove all these sufferings and causes of sufferings? Devotional service removes all causes of suffering. The causes are basic ignorance, second are the wrong desires, and the third are the past wrong actions. So first is avidya. Avidya is the foundation. With knowledge, desirable and undesirable desires and actions becomes clear. In Bhagavad Gita 10.10, Krishna says, Tadami buddhi yogam tam. Yena mam upayantite. Krishna says, I will give you the knowledge by which you can come to me. That those who are devoted, Krishna gives them the knowledge from within. And then in Bhagavad Gita 10.11, Krishna says that Krishna destroys the ignorance by the shining light of knowledge. So a devotee is free from the ignorance that impels one for wrong desires and wrong actions. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.22.39 states, with devotional service, it is very easy to remove the hard-knotted desires for fruitive activities. So Jnanis and Yogis, although they are trying to stop sense gratification, but they cannot do so. Therefore, engage in devotional service of Krishna to easily remove the hard-knotted desires of fruitive activities. Then the second item is wrong desires. Kama. The bhakti purifies our material desires by directing desires from material level to spiritual level. Therefore, our kama, our desires become spiritualized. A devotee starts desiring for Krishna's pleasure instead of our own pleasure. That's what we discussed in the question answer session about liberation in 3.29.13. The third is the prarabdha karma, meaning manifested effect of past karma. The effect of birth due to past karma is countered by the process of bhakti to the point that Shudra can go on to become a spiritual master. In Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.6 as well as in Bhagavad Gita 18.66, Krishna says, surrender to me and Krishna will remove all past karma. And then the fourth point is aprarabdha karma, means unmanifested karma. So bhakti removes the sinful proclivity. In the sinful inclination is removed. Bhakti burns away the sinful inclination. Hence, we don't even come to know the sinful activity. Bhakti fills us with spiritual desires. So bhakti is not a process of emptying our mind of wrong desires. Rather, bhakti is filling our mind with the right desires to serve Krishna and Krishna's devotee. Now a question will come up that why devotees suffer if bhakti gives kleshagni? The answer is by the suffering of devotees, Krishna is showing the neophytes how to serve Krishna. If you read Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita, at least the first part of Lilamrita, Srila Prabhupada suffered so much to the point that when I first read Prabhupada's Lilamrita, I actually told Srila Prabhupada, what were you thinking? Why would you go through so much suffering? But that is for our learning, which is why Srila Prabhupada was showing us. So through Srila Prabhupada's suffering, Krishna is showing us how a devotee always glorifies him with determination. Srila Prabhupada's so many obstacles to set up ISKCON were meant to instruct all of us to tolerate those obstacles. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada gets glorified. So suffering is also for purification. So Krishna can remove all suffering, but Krishna gives suffering which is anukul for bhakti. If there is no suffering in the material world, then material world will become a happy place and the person will give up bhakti saying, Krishna, you are happy there in Goloka Vrindavan, you stay there. I am happy here in the material world. Krishna, you do your pastimes in the spiritual world and I will do my pastimes here in the material world. You, Krishna, just simply keep providing all my necessities required in the material world. But we know that material world is a place of misery. Therefore, miseries are given so that we can realize that we need to go back home to Godhead. For a devotee, sufferings bring realization that this world is a place of misery. From such realization comes renunciation that I am not the controller. Krishna is the controller. And devotion grows this way. This is the result of such realization. And as we become fixed in devotion, our devotional service keeps increasing. So devotee does not demand klesha. Devotee just demands, let me be observed in service and remembrance of Krishna, which will result in forgetting everything else. Questions, comments, realization on Klesha Agni point? Next item is Shubhda, all auspicious. It is not just auspicious, rather is all auspicious. That which benefits everyone, because by chanting, even trees, animal, etc., everyone is benefited. People improve when their thoughts and desires improve. Thus, the world will improve when people will improve. Bhakti eradicates sinful thoughts and replaces with noble thoughts. Bhakti purifies our heart. With bhakti, we learn to rise beyond materiality to spirituality. So modern education system and the other yoga paths are not all auspicious because they fail in development of saintly character. Happiness from devotional service is superior to all other forms of happiness because devotional service happiness is eternal. Plus, of course, devotional service happiness includes all other types of happiness. How other happinesses are included? Because senses are not idle. Senses are used in Krishna's service. There are three kinds of happiness. First is from material enjoyment. Second is identifying oneself as Supreme Brahman. And third is from Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada says the yoga siddhis, the siddhis that some yogis try to attain, the siddhis are still material, therefore they are temporary. Srila Prabhupada calls yoga siddhis as childish. A child who cannot do that siddhi thinks it is so great that a particular person or a particular child is able to do a particular siddhi. So at first may seem miraculous that somebody is able to perform some siddhis, but once it is demystified, it is no longer of the same value. Example, cell phone. Once one understands that there is a technology behind it, then it is no longer miraculous. Everybody on the same page before I discuss Moksha Laghugut?
Yes,
Krishna
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Prabhu, you have a question?
Yes, I was, like you gave the example of Srila Prabhupada, and I understand Prabhupada, like we have to learn from his suffering, but like his position and our position is very different. So how do we see that in relation to our sufferings in current state?
You are correct that our position is definitely very different than Srila Prabhupada. And therefore, if you read Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita, the degree of suffering for Prabhupada was also very different. The suffering that Srila Prabhupada went through Each one of them was significantly high degree of misery. But Prabhupada was not affected. Through that extreme example, Krishna and Prabhupada are teaching us that whatever be our misery, it definitely is not at the same degree that Prabhupada went through. We just have to learn to always remember Krishna even within our miseries. So Abhishek Prabhu, you are there in the other Bhagavatam class where we have discussed the Kunti Maharani prayers, where Kunti Maharani says, let those calamities happen again and again. Because of the calamities, we will remember you, Krishna, again and again. And by remembering you, Krishna, we will no longer come back to this miserable material world. This is 1.8.25. So whatever be our misery, it obviously is at a lesser degree than what Prabhupada went through. And we just have to learn to tolerate based on what Prabhupada has taught us from his own example of significant volume and severity of his miseries. Abhishek Prabhu?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Rest of you, somebody else also had a question? All right, then Moksha Lagukrut. Pure devotional service derides even the happiness of liberation. So we did read 3.29.13 that there are 5 kinds of liberation: Sahujya, Salokya, Sarupya, Sarishtya, and Samipya. Sahujya means to become one with the Lord. Shalokya means to live with the Supreme Lord on the same planet. Sarupya means to have the same features as the Lord. Sarishtya means to enjoy the same opulence as the Lord. And Samipya means to live as a companion of the Lord. A devotee does not want any of these 5 kinds of liberation. Even if these are offered by the Lord, then what to speak of rejecting material sense gratification? Devotee is not interested in liberation. Obviously, devotee is not interested in material sense gratification. The devotee is simply satisfied by discharging loving service to the Lord. This is the characteristics of pure devotion. Everybody on the same page? Fourth item is Sudurlubha. That pure devotional service is rarely achieved because of 2 reasons. One, pure devotional service is unattainable by one's own efforts. Even if own effort is in very great quantity, pure devotional service is by Krishna's mercy and or by mercy of devotee of Krishna. Second, Krishna is reluctant to give pure devotional service to anyone because pure devotional service has the power to control Krishna. This is Sudurlubha. Then 5th item is Sandra Ananda Visheshatma. That pure devotional service automatically puts one in transcendental pleasure. So Sandra means highly concentrated and condensed. Ananda means bliss. Visheshat means special. And Atma means self. Therefore, the whole word is Sandra Ananda Vishesh Atma. So literally the word Sandra Ananda Vishesh Atma means the distinctive nature of Prema Bhakti is condensed and concentrated bliss. And the last item is Sri Krishna Akarshani. that pure devotional service is the only means to attract Krishna. Prema Bhakti is so powerful that it attracts and controls even the all-attractive Supreme Controller, Shri Krishna. The highest degree of Prema Bhakti is personified by Srimati Radharani. These are the key points from chapter 1. Any questions, comments, realizations? All right, homework. First is a standard homework. After all classes that read all the purports, all the chapters that we have covered. So we have covered up to chapter 1. Finish reading up to chapter 1. And on the Google form, second is on the Google form, you will provide at least one striking point from our discussion and at least one inquiry. As well as on the Google form, you will also put striking points from Prabhupada lecture. So today I will send you 2 Prabhupada lectures. Both of them are again spectacular and both of them are again very heavy, littered with verses and verses and verses. As well as you can try to memorize the 3 verses that we have. So first you have on the screen, which is 1.1.11, the Pure Devotional Service verse, Anya Vilashita Shunyam. Then second you have 1.1.12, which is Sarva Upadhi Vinirmuktam verse. And then third you have the 6 characteristics of Pure Devotional Service, 1.1.17, Kleshagni Shubhada. So try to memorize. You don't have to create misery for yourself. Memorize one at a time, or if you can memorize all, by all means memorize all. So we still have time. I won't cover anything more today because you have anyway a lot of reading to do and lot of Prabhupada lectures to listen to. Can use the time for any questions, comments, realizations you may have right now.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Subhash Prabhu, go ahead.
I bought the Nectar of Devotion book from the ISKCON Toronto, but it does not have any Sanskrit sloka, Prabhuji. Did I buy the wrong one?
You are correct. You have the right book that, as I explained at our last class, that Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, the Sanskrit of Nectar of Devotion, has all the verses. But Srila Prabhupada translated into Nectar of Devotion as a summary study, like the Krishna book, which is summary of Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 10. Therefore, all these verses are not there in Nectar of Devotion. Nectar of Devotion is a summary form to make it easier for us to understand. And therefore, I am giving you on the screen all these verses. You take snapshots and you memorize those verses. So, Vas Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay, somebody else had a question, unmuted.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Abhishek Prabhu, go ahead.
So like NOI starts from practices and then moves on. Like NOD starting from description of pure devotional service. So how do we see that practical application?
Yeah, Nectar of Devotion, it doesn't just start with pure devotion. That's essentially an entire conversation in Nectar of Devotion. Everything is about pure devotion. How do you get to pure devotion? This is pure devotion, and how do you get to pure devotion? That is essentially the whole conversation in Nectar of Devotion. Therefore, Nectar of Devotion starts with the definition of pure devotional service, and then from chapters 2 onwards, it gives you how do you get there. So, for example, in chapter 6, you will get a laundry list of 64 items. You do these 64 items and you will go on to become a pure devotee. So it's not that it's starting with pure devotion and going somewhere else. No, that essentially is the only topic of conversation. The pure devotional topic is the only topic of conversation in Nectar of Devotion. Abhishek Prabhu?
Thank you. This is very nice.
Monarch Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, my question is related to the last point, attracting Krishna, that the devotional service is the only means to attract Krishna. And Prabhu, in Bhagavad Gita 3.19, it is Nishkam Karma Yoga that one attains Supreme. So, Prabhu, how can I understand these 2 points?
So in batch 6 and 7 yesterday, when I was answering the questions, one of the leftover question which I'll answer at the next class, one of the question is about what's the difference between Nishkam Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. So Nishkam Karma Yoga, you are very close to Bhakti Yoga, means you are at the doorstep. And very soon you will reach Bhava and Prema Bhakti. But Nishkam Karma Yoga on itself is not Bhakti Yoga, is just taking you to Bhakti Yoga. That's how you understand the Bhagavad Gita statement that Nishkam Karma Yoga gives you Krishna, means it is taking you to Bhakti Yoga very soon. And here, Nectar of Devotion is essentially talking pure devotion, that pure devotion is the only way to attain Krishna. And that's exactly what Prabhupada is explaining in Bhagavad Gita also, that if you reach Nishkam, very soon you will reach Bhava and Prema Bhakti. Monarch Prabhu?
Understood, Prabhu. So, just a step to reach to the stage of pure devotion, right? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Very good. Rest of you? How's everybody feeling about Nectar of Devotion? Is it heavy? Is the conversation helping to ease out any anxieties?
Very useful, Prabhu, because it talks about the practical application, not only the philosophy part. So,
All right, thank you. Abhishek Prabhu?
It feels very nice, Prabhuji, that we're speaking about the highest level of devotional service.
All right. Rest of you, anybody in anxiety? I already said Nectar of Devotion is heavy, no doubt about it. So I'm trying to make it easy, or easier, I shouldn't say easy. I'm trying to bridge a gap and make it a little easier to follow and understand and answer your inquiries. Anybody in anxiety? Matan Prabhu?
Can we get the online version for Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu?
When you say online as in?
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu original
Yeah.
book.
Where can you get it? I should have remembered this. Yes, you can, but I will not go there because Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is verse by verse by verse, and it will become a daunting task for you to understand. So follow what Prabhupada has given us. So, and even though Prabhupada translated the entire Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu into the chapters that we have in Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada said you don't need to worry about all the chapters. Like Nectar of Devotion has 51 chapters, but we will be covering only up to chapter number 19. So don't try to cross Prabhupada. Prabhupada has given us the most appropriate thing for us. If you try to go beyond Prabhupada, you are going to get stuck somewhere. So follow Prabhupada. Prabhupada has done the right thing for us. Prabhupada himself realized that Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is going to be a daunting task if Prabhupada translated verse by verse by verse. Prabhupada could have translated, but then for us to understand would have been very difficult. And Nectar of Devotion being such an important book in the Gaudiya Madhava Sampradaya in ISKCON, therefore Prabhupada has made it easy by translating it into a summary form, like a story. You literally read Nectar of Devotion like a story. It flows like a story. Matan Prabhu, does that help you?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Abhishek Prabhu says something in the chat. Let's read. So summarize the content of chapter 1 and it's easier to follow the heavy discussion in the book. Yeah, you are correct that the discussion in the book is definitely heavy. All glories are always for Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. I'm only repeating what I have heard from Acharyas and Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Rest of you? All right. So as I mentioned at the start, that it is very important that all of you endeavor. It's only very few of you who did not endeavor at the last time. You are welcome to complete last endeavor also, as well as I will send Prabhupada lecture and a Google form for you to populate the stacking points and inquiries. All of you please endeavor. Otherwise you will drop off very, very soon. I have actual record, and devotees from other batches also saw this live from the other batch. So batch number 3 and 4 has become 50% of what it used to be just few weeks back. Why? Because devotees are not endeavoring and they are leaving. So I don't want any one of you to leave. So please endeavor. We'll stop here. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.